Hello, my name is Carl Surrey and this is a video tutorial for the Facebook group called Fans of Serif Software. Now this tutorial will lean very heavily on a tutorial that was given away as on a free disc given away by Digital Photo magazine. They used Elements, I believe, but it would to also work in Photoshop. Now this tutorial is to make a color wheel which will demonstrate how the colours mix on screen, and it also will help show how the hue slider works, which I personally found the most interesting, rather than just how the colours worked. So to help speed things along, I have set a few things up in advance. And what I've done is I've opened a new document which was 1000 pixels by 1000 pixels. I then filled it in with solid black, and what I've also done is I've added some guides to help me position the colours that I want, and also I've set up the elliptical selection tool to do a fixed size of 400 by 400. Alright, so if I come down here and make a new layer just by clicking on this button down here, and I'm going to set it to screen blending mode. Click OK. Now because it's already set up on the elliptical selection tool, if I just press once, and because it's a fixed size, it will just make it exactly how I want it. I'll then use the move tool to move this selection where I want it, which is roughly in the middle, and touching that top line there. And then I will need to fill this selection. So I'm going to change the colour. So I'm going to click on the foreground colour to open that selection box, and rather than try and get the colour I need, I'm going to enter the colours in the RGB modes here. So I'm going to put the G or green down to 0 and the B blue down to 0, and then you would have perfect red, because perfect red is 255. So click OK. Click the flood fill tool, click inside there, and you now have a red circle. So I'll press Ctrl and D to remove that selection and marching ants around the edge of the circle. I'll then make another layer, and then again blending mode is screen. Click OK. Go back to the elliptical selection tool, which is still set at fixed size. Click once, and then I don't necessarily have to go to the move tool because you can already move it. And then I'm just going to place it touching my guidelines that I'd already set up. Now in this second circle I want green, so I need to go back up here to select a new colour. Click on that to open the colour selector. Now the green, we want perfect green, so that would be 255, so it's 255, and reduce the R down to 0, red, so you have green. I'll come over here to flood fill, and then fill that. Press Ctrl and D to get rid of the marching ants, and as you can see, when the red and the green mix, it produces yellow. So we just need one final layer, so I'll make a new layer. Screen blending mode, screen. Click OK. Come up here to the elliptical tool again, which is still on a fixed size. Just click once, and then I'll move this into position. And this one we could be filling with blue, so I need to come up here, change the foreground colour again. Blue is 255, and reduce the green down to 0. So you had the perfect blue, and then come to flood fill. Fill that selection. Press Control and D to get rid of the marching ants. So, and I'll also now remove the guidelines. So as you can see, we have the 3 circles of red, green and blue, and the green and blue mixed together make cyan, red and blue together make magenta, and all 3 of these colours mixed together will make white, as I can hopefully demonstrate by going to this picture which I've preset. So you've got all the main colours that you need to make any digital picture there, because you've got the 3 colours that can make white. Black is obviously outside of that sphere, but that can be added digitally by the computers in some way which I don't understand. But you can make almost any colour from red, green and blue, and this is how digital pictures are made. Now if you are printing an image, which I have also preset, there's a different type of colour wheel. They use, when it comes to printing, you use yellow, cyan and magenta. So yellow and cyan will make you red, yellow and magenta yellow and cyan will make green, and magenta and cyan will make blue, and all 3 of those will make black. But unfortunately, when it comes to printing with inks, it doesn't quite work to get black, so black is normally added as an extra ink, and the white is provided by the paper you're printing on. So this is why printing is known as CMYK. So you've got cyan, yellow, magenta, and the K is black. So they're the 4 colours that printers use. But digitally, if you use they use these colours, and if I come over here to the colour picker, click on that, as you see, if it goes over the black area, in the little box underneath it's got RGB, and it's 000, which is black. If I move it into the red area, the RGB it should be 155, but it's 154.00, which is your red. Yellow is 255 of red and 255 of green. Green is 255. Cyan is 255 of green and 255 of blue to make cyan. And then same goes for magenta. Should be 25. It's 255 and 254, but it should be 255 of all, because that's how I set it up. And white should be 255 of all the colours. So as you can see, the maximum of each colour can make other colours, and then the variations of how much you use of each colour is how you can get different shades of red, oranges and yellows and other colours. Right, so to confuse things slightly, let me get it off of the colour picker, let's put it onto the move tool. If I move this next image, go to this next image, if you make an imaginary circle around these colours, and obviously you start at the top a circle, it would be at 0 degrees, and if you went all the way around the circle, you come back to 360 degrees. So red is set at 0 or 360. Yellow is roughly at 60 degrees. Green is at 120 degrees. Cyan is at 180 degrees. Blue is at 240 degrees. And magenta is set at 300 degrees. So this is where the positions on the hue slider, these colours can be found. So I've done a very quick look at the two tools that use the hue slider. I've had to enlarge them quite a bit, but I hope you can see them okay. Now, the hue saturation lightness tool, the slider starts in the middle, but it's set on 0, which, as we know, is red. And at the other end of the slider, it goes to cyan, and then to the left-hand side is also cyan, because it's going full circle. You have to imagine it's almost like a circle. So it goes from cyan round to cyan. But the colorize tool is slightly more easier to understand, because it starts at red 0 and goes up to, it doesn't quite go to 360, it only goes to 359, and will go back to red again with all the colours in between. To demonstrate this, if I go back to that image and I go to image adjust colorize, and I push the saturation right up to 100%, and as you can see, as it's set on 0, we have red. If I went right to the other end of the scale, which, as far as I can go, which is 359, it is also red. And if I enter the numbers like it was on the previous screen, where it was a circle, so 60 degrees, we'll get yellow. 120 degrees, if it will go in, 120 degrees will give you green. 180 degrees give you cyan. And the next one is 240 degrees give you blue. 300 degrees give you cyan. Magenta, I mean, sorry. And obviously the next one would be 360 degrees, which would have been back at red again. So as you can see, the hue slider works very similarly like you have to imagine like a circle that's been cut and stretched out flat to provide all the different colours within the spectrum. I'll just get rid of this. And one last thing that I can sort of help explain the use of these colour wheels is complementary colours. Because like the colour that is opposite, like the blue and the yellow, are opposite each other. So they do complement each other, because there's obviously in yellow there is no blue. And similarly, if you want green and magenta, they complement each other. And red and cyan complement each other, so if you were taking a picture that's got blue and yellow in it, you know they will work well together. Well, I hope that is all easy to understand and you have learned something from it all. Thank you very much.